St Mirren moved themselves a point further away from the bottom of the SPL with a draw at home to Motherwell, who dropped to 5th in the table. This was close to the opening goal. Tom Haitley's free kick deflected onto the post, with keeper Craig Sampson beaten. Haitley's effort took a touch off Paddy Craig in the wall and could so easily have gone in. Some bookings are unavoidable, some are daft. This one for St Mirren striker Michael Higdon falls into the second category. Yellow carded for trying to block Darren Randolph's clearance. The home team were beginning to threaten, and while the Saints supporters were getting excited about a dubious penalty claim here, David Van Zanten volleyed just wide. The Paisley team were now getting about their business pretty effectively and posing problems for Motherwell. This wasn't the best corner kick Paul McGowan's ever struck, but he did make up for it when Craig gave him the ball back. The on-loan Celtic player crossed for Gareth Wardlaw to head St Mirren in front 8 minutes before half-time. Manager Danny Lennon took the experienced Wardlaw with him from Cowdenbeath, and he's now acclimatising himself to top-flight football. A great chance for Motherwell to equalise when Alan Gow played in Chris Humphrey and the winger cut the ball back for Steve Jennings to miss the target. Craig Brown's team did level things up 16 minutes from the end when Nick Blackman gathered in a pass from Ross Forbes, turned away from Darren McGregor and buried an unstoppable shot past Sampson. The 20-year-old striker's 10th goal in the SPL since arriving on loan from Blackburn. That's probably the best of the lot, and Motherwell will do well to keep him beyond January. Blackman could have scored again here. Gow played a 1-2 with John Sutton, and what might well have been a shot at goal almost set up Blackman for a winner. St Mirren ended the match with 10 men on the pitch when already booked Higdon fouled Motherwell captain Stephen Craigan. He knew immediately he was off. A point apiece for Saints and Motherwell. A 6-goal thriller in the Highlands, only a second home win of the season for Inverness, and Adam Rooney became the first player at the club to score an SPL hat-trick. Hibs on the back of wins against Rangers and Motherwell found themselves a goal down in 7 minutes. Richie Foran got the ball back from Rooney and placed his shot beyond keeper Mark Brown. A goal which demonstrated the confidence Inverness have at the moment. Promoted and expected to struggle, they're flourishing in the top 4. Hibs began to apply some pressure, and Liam Miller's cross was touched onto the crossbar by Cally Thistle keeper Ryan Essen, with Colin Nish waiting to pounce. Rooney, though, was a constant threat at the other end, especially if he was left unmarked. Johnny Hayes with the cross, and Rooney's diving header was flipped onto the bar by Brown. That was an escape for Hibs, and it was 1-0 Inverness at half-time. Terry Butcher's team was 2 up 6 minutes after the restart. Rooney's shot took a deflection off Jonathan Grounds and was handled on the goal line by Paul Hanlon. Penalty given, and a red card for the Scotland under-21 defender. No complaints about referee Steve Conroy's decision. And no doubts about Rooney's efficiency with the penalty kick. Drilled into the corner for his 11th goal of the season. And that was a 2-0 lead for Cally Thistle. Inverness winger Hayes obviously thought the game needed livening up and threw 10-man Hibs a lifeline with a back pass which went straight to Derek Riordan, who rounded Essen to score. Had his team not won the match, Hayes might have gone into hiding after the blunder which narrowed the scoreline. 4 minutes later, he was breathing a big sigh of relief as he helped to restore the 2-goal difference. Not for the first time this season, Inverness struck on the counter-attack. Hayes led the charge and invited Rooney to do the rest. Neither Ian Murray nor keeper Brown could stop him scoring again. Another Cally Thistle masterclass on how to hit on the break. Hayes the creator and Rooney the deadly finisher. Inverness now 3-1 up 20 minutes from time. You would have thought Hibs were keeping a close check on Rooney by now, but he found himself unmarked on the end of another Hayes cross and should have done better than head wide. Colin Calderwood's team kept alive their hopes of getting something from the game with a 78th minute penalty. Danny Galbraith survived the Hayes challenge but was taken out by Ross Tokley. An opportunity to get to within a goal of Cali Thistle. Chance taken by Miller. The penalty scored with style. Hibs now 3-2 down into the closing stages. Hibs' hopes of a salvage operation were short-lived. 10 minutes from time-up, Inverness broke away to score again. And again it was that Hayes-Rooney combination. The little winger was the set-up man, and the top scorer added to his already impressive goals tally. 3 for Rooney, 13 for the season, a first-ever hat-trick for Inverness in the SPL, and a 4-2 win which cements their place in the top 6. Mark McGee's Aberdeen have lost 10 of their last 12 league games. Struggling St Johnstone gave themselves some breathing space with a late winner at Pittodrie. The Perth team didn't head to the northeast with a great recent record. 4 SPL defeats on the bounce going into this one. And maybe this illustrates the problem. Great build-up followed by a glaring miss right in front of goal. Cleveland Taylor was the offender, well set up by Peter MacDonald, and he should have found the net rather than hit the post. Aberdeen had an even better chance to make the breakthrough after a quick counter-attack which saw Scott Vernon flick the ball on for Shoni Aluko to sprint towards goal. He beat goalkeeper Peter Enkelman but placed his shot wide of target. How did I do that seemed to be the Aluko reaction. Well, the ball did bobble off the pitch at the crucial moment. It was Aberdeen's turn to hit the post next. Aluko's pass, and when Chris Maguire's cutback was fumbled by Enkelman, Vernon stabbed the ball off the upright. Still no goals in a match both teams were as desperate not to lose as they were keen to win, 0-0 at half-time. Into the second half and the home team were reduced to 10 men when Rory McCardle was sent off for a lunge on Taylor. Red carded by referee Willie Collum, who must be dying for a quiet game. Aberdeen manager Mark McGee said the refereeing decision had conspired against his side and cost them the match. Even one man down though, Aberdeen could still have taken all 3 points. Aluko has the ability to make a chance out of absolutely nothing. Away from defender Alan Maybury and a shot which almost shaved the post. When it's not your day, this sort of thing happens, painfully close. This was even more painful for Aberdeen. 7 minutes from time, a quick corner caught them asleep, and MacDonald's cross was headed into his own goal by Xander Diamond. Saints heading for their first SPL win in 5 attempts. Another body blow suffered by Aberdeen. St Johnstone's Sam Parkin attacking the cross, but it was Diamond who applied the finishing touch. Before the match was finished, Diamond had half a chance to cancel that one out, but his header was knocked off the line by Maybury. Less than 8,000 watching as Aberdeen maintained their poor run of results and stayed second bottom of the SPL. The full weekend story: Celtic lost a late leveller. Dundee United scored in the 4th minute of stoppage time. Rangers moved 3 points clear at the top. Kenny Miller's hat-trick beat Kilmarnock. Hearts have a hold of 3rd place, a 2-0 home win for them against struggling Hamilton. Nick Blackman took his goals total into double figures with Motherwell's equaliser at St Mirren. Adam Rooney became the first Inverness player to score a hat-trick in top-flight football. And Xander Diamond was a reluctant goalscorer as Aberdeen lost at home to St Johnstone. These were all the results in the Clydesdale Bank Premier League. St Johnstone 1-0 winners at Pittodrie. Celtic held to a 1-1 draw by Dundee United. Hearts 2, Hamilton 0. Inverness beat Hibs 4-2. Rangers won 3-2 at Kilmarnock. And it was 1 each for St Mirren and Motherwell. So now 3 points between Rangers and Celtic at the top of the table. Hearts are 3rd on 26, Inverness 24, Motherwell 23. Dundee United 19, Kilmarnock 17, Hibs and St Johnstone 14, St Mirren 12, Aberdeen 10 and Hamilton bottom on 9. Coming next, Celtic at home to Inverness on the Saturday, Hamilton against St Mirren, Hibs play St Johnstone, Kilmarnock versus Aberdeen. And on Sunday, Dundee United against Rangers, followed by Motherwell Hearts. We'll bring you all the action